What if you could go back in time? Not to change a small mistake, but to rewrite your entire destiny. Imagine this. It's 2017. You've just lost everything in the market. Every investment, every hope, gone. Drowning your sorrows, you drink yourself into oblivion, only to wake up not with a hangover, but in a completely different era. The year is 1980. This is the story of a man who did just that. One minute, he's a failed investor in the 21st century. The next, he's in 1980s China, a country on the brink of an economic explosion. The air is electric with change. The policies of reform and opening up are just taking root, creating opportunities that people of that time couldn't even fathom. But he could. He wasn't just a man from the future. He was a man who had seen the future of finance. And he knew exactly where the gold was buried. He remembered it all. The rise and fall of giants, the market crashes, the technological revolutions. While everyone else was cautiously dipping their toes into the water, he was ready to dive in headfirst. He knew which stocks would soar, which industries would boom, and which seemingly brilliant ideas were destined to fail. This wasn't gambling for him. It was a history lesson he had already lived through. His journey begins small, with just the clothes on his back and a mind filled with priceless information. He starts with humble beginnings, maybe a small street stall, using his future knowledge to pick the right products to negotiate the best deals. He sees the potential in things others overlook. He knows that the clunky, oversized electronics of the 80s are just the first step towards the sleek devices that will one day rule the world. As he starts to accumulate his first pot of gold, he sets his sights higher. He's not just playing a local game. He's thinking globally. He knows the timeline of major world events like it's the back of his hand. The Plaza Accord in 1985 that will shake the Japanese economy. He's prepared. The dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991, a monumental event that will unlock vast resources and create new markets. He's 10 steps ahead, positioning himself to capitalize on the chaos. He remembers the stories of legendary investors, the ones who made fortunes during these turbulent times. Now, he's not just reading about them. He's competing against them. He uses his foreknowledge to navigate the treacherous waters of international finance. While others see crises, he sees once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. He knows when to buy, when to sell, and most importantly, when to hold. Think about the Asian financial crisis of 1997. For millions, it was a disaster. For him, it was a predictable storm he had prepared for years in advance. He didn't just survive it. He thrived, picking up valuable assets for pennies on the dollar, while others were forced into bankruptcy. He becomes a phantom, a mysterious force in the financial world that seems to be able to predict the future with unnerving accuracy. Then comes the dot-com bubble. He watches with a knowing smile as the world goes crazy for internet companies with no profits and no real business models. Everyone is scrambling to get in on the action, throwing money at anything with a com at the end of its name, but he knows it's a house of cards. He remembers the spectacular crash of 2000. So, instead of buying into the hype, he quietly builds his positions, shorting the overvalued stocks and waiting for the inevitable burst. When the bubble pops, wiping out trillions in market value, his empire solidifies. He's no longer just a player. He's a kingmaker. His wealth grows to unimaginable levels. But it's not just about the money. With his knowledge, he can also steer technology in the right direction. Investing in the true innovators, the companies that will actually shape the future, not just the ones with the best marketing. He builds a sprawling conglomerate with interests in technology, real estate, energy, and media. He becomes a legend, a titan of industry whose origins are shrouded in mystery. People whisper about his incredible foresight, his almost supernatural ability to be in the right place at the right time. They call him a genius, a visionary, a prophet of profit. But no one knows his secret, that he's just a man from the future, a failed investor who was given a second chance. This is a story of redemption, of using knowledge to conquer fate. It's about how a single person, armed with information from the future, can navigate the currents of history and build an empire from scratch. From the bustling streets of 1980s Shenzhen to the trading floors of Wall Street, he turns the past into his personal playground. He seizes every opportunity, dodges every crisis, and slowly, meticulously, constructs a financial dynasty that will stand the test of time. He rewrites not just his own history, but history itself. He becomes more successful than he ever dreamed possible in his first life. But with great power comes great challenges. How does he keep his secret safe? What happens when he changes the past so much that his future knowledge becomes unreliable? And most importantly, can all the money in the world fill the void of the life, the friends, and the family he left behind in 2017? This epic tale of time travel, finance, and ambition explores what it truly means to get a second shot at life. It's a thrilling ride through 4 decades of economic history, seen through the eyes of a man who has already lived it. If you love stories about strategy, intellect, and building something incredible from nothing, then you won't want to miss a single moment of this journey. Thanks so much for watching. If you were intrigued by this story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more incredible narratives. Let me know in the comments what you would do if you were sent back in time with all your current knowledge. See you in the next video.